And it is the second largest constituency in the Republic of Ghana. Good morning to you out there. We are coming to you right from the Dome Kwabenya Constituency in the Greater Accra region on +275 this morning. My name is Bright Nanamfo. This morning, the conversation will start because constituents are ready to listen and watch the people who are asking for their mandate to represent them in Parliament. Good morning once again out to you there if you're watching us. This is the Election Command Center. We've told you that we are the specialist and we do it right. We get you the chance, the choice to make that important vote and get your person elected. This morning, the Dome Kwabenya constituency is our attention. 180,000 plus voters there. The NPP, the NDC, the PNC and other political parties represented asking for the mandate of the people of that constituency to go to Parliament. This morning, my guest in the studio from the NDC is Mohammed Nuruddin. He is representing the National Democratic Congress. Mohammed, good morning.
Good morning.
And I hope you're doing great.
Very well.
How about the constituency, Dome Kwabenya Constituency?
I think we are bracing ourselves for one of the most important elections in our lives.
Yeah. And how are the electorate, over 180,000 of them receiving you?
Well, they're receiving the message. I'm trying to establish a one-on-one contact with our people, and that is the most important thing.
I'm grateful.
The message is really
I'm grateful this morning for your time.
Thank you.
And thanks so much. Nuruddin Mohammed is representing NDC in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. Also asking for the mandate of the people of Dome Kwabenya is a young man from the People's National Convention. He's just asking that get him elected because he can represent that constituency better in Parliament. I'm talking about Abdul Kadri Isa. Welcome this morning.
Thank you, thank you.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing very
And
well.
how is the constituency doing too?
Oh, they are doing very good.
And the PNC's message to the constituency, how are they receiving it?
Oh, they are receiving very, very nice. They are waiting for a change to ensure that they get a very good constituent, a member of parliament, to give them a very good, what is expected of them, to ensure that what confronted in respect of education, sanitation, and other related things is able to solve as far as that constituency is concerned.
I'm grateful. Abdul Kadri Isa, welcome once again to +275. Unfortunately, the NPP candidate, the incumbent member of parliament, could not be with us, Adwa Safo. She didn't turn up for the show. Welcome once again for this morning on +275. Before we start, it's a friendly conversation. We're going to share ideas and let your constituents know how you intend to resolve their problems if they give you the chance to represent them. But let's start with a handshake between Nuruddin and Abdul Kadri Isa, two gentlemen here in the studio to do the battle of ideas. Welcome. We're going to start with a question each, and of course you have 2 minutes to answer that question. Of course, I can ask you a reaction, or your contender can react to the issues that you raise. I'm grateful once again for your time. Let's start the debate right now. Let's begin with this. Now, Nuruddin Mohammed, you represented the NDC, and that constituency is a stronghold of the NPP. Now, tell me, what is the campaign message you are selling to the over 180,000 electorate, and how is it going to resolve the myriad of problems in that constituency? In 2 minutes, you can deal with this.
Thank you very much, Herbert. First of all, once again, I want to say a big good morning and a warm good morning to all the constituents in Dome Kwabenya, from Abokobi right down to Taifa, Dome Kwabenya, and all the other communities and towns. First of all, I need to make a correction here. Dome Kwabenya isn't a stronghold of the NPP. This is a constituency that has been won by the NDC before.
Right.
The point is, there's been several issues in the past. In as much as the NDC hasn't been able to make a very strong case in the past to win the constituency, there's been some issues that I think as Ghanaians we all have to look into and make sure that our democracy, the very democracy we all fought to go by, really is instilled and everybody plays by the rule. Regarding my message, the key word is that Dome Kwabenya deserves better. Now, this is a community that, or constituency that has a lot of professionals, people who have worked in the public sector, private sector, former educationists, former technicians, you can name them. Now, you want a member of parliament who is respectful, number one, who is young, who is dynamic, and most importantly, who knows the challenges of the constituency. Now, my first contact with the constituency was as far back in 1990, meaning that I've lived in the constituency for 26 years. Growing up with most of the youth, we envisage a community or constituency that has or is indeed a first-class community, a first-class constituency, where you have access to potable water, access to very good roads, access to very good healthcare facilities, access to senior high school educational facilities. It's not been the case for quite some time now, but I can tell you, in the last 3.5 years, there's been some glimmer of hope for we, the youth in the constituency, because these very things have been provided. We have the roads coming up. We have, for the first time in the constituency, a senior high school facilities coming up. As I speak,
30 more seconds.
As I speak, we have a 100-bed community district hospital also coming up. So certainly, these are good times for the constituency. But the problem here is a worthy representative in Parliament who can really make a strong case for some of the smallest issues that affect women and children and the youth in the community. And that is why I seek the mandate of the people to represent them and give them.
I'm grateful. Nuruddin Mohammed is the NDC candidate representing that party and asking for the mandate over 180,000 voters in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. He's just spoken and asked you to get him to Parliament to represent you. I'm grateful, Nuruddin. Let me quickly go to Abdul Isa of the PNC. Now, you have been speaking to these voters, urging them on to make you their representative. What has been your message, and how is it likely to resolve the challenges that this constituency faces? 2 minutes, you can start now.
Thank you very much. I've lived in this constituency for the past 22 years now. When I graduated from school, from Institute of Professors, I'm a trained management accountant. But when I get out from school, I came down and realized that there's a lot of problem confronting the people of Dome Kwabenya. Most of the problem confronting them is issue about employment and about job creation. And I believe for them to realize their full potential. So what I did is to put most of these boys together, train them, give them jobs, for them to also get some food to eat. But what I realized is, as my capacity as a citizen in the constituency, I can't use my private job as a person to ensure that I realize their potential. There's a need for me to get the state agencies involved to ensure that some of the needs are addressed. For instance, if you come to my constituency, I'm the first person to establish a business at my age. But my age was around 24, 25. I was able to establish a business to employ about 10 to 15 people who are the youth, to give them job. At the same time, to give them the technical know-how for them to also, after working with me, to go out and also create their own job to realize their potential. But when you go to the constituency, as at now, I'm able to train SSS to pass through my work, because I'm able to create job, employ them, pay salaries, for them to also to pass through my work, for them to be able to pursue their tertiary institution. And it's very important for you to understand that issue of a member of parliament go beyond trying to say you represent the people at the parliament. There's a need for you also to ensure that you put some necessary things in place to help your people. Because it goes beyond certain idea that when you're a member of parliament, the object is for you to go to parliament, push a laws. But it's very important for you to have some special skills.
30 seconds.
Special skills for you to ensure that you train the people, the constituents, you give them available skills for them also to realize their potential. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I think giving the mandate as member of parliament for Dome Kwabenya, I'll use the state entry to do more to promote the general well-being of our people at Dome Kwabenya.
I am grateful. Abdul Kadri Isa is representing the People's National Convention in that constituency, the Dome Kwabenya constituency, a constituency of over 180,000 voters who will cast their ballot come the general elections. Now, let's stay on this issue of leadership, because now at least we know what your message is. Now, let us see. Now, the two of you are contending the incumbent. You want to unseat her. Now, beginning with you, Nuruddin Mohammed, what is it that the incumbent you think has not done, or the leadership skill she has not exhibited or shown, and so for that reason you want to get her off the seat, and that you will provide a better option for the Dome Kwabenya constituency? Again, in 2 minutes, you can start now.
I believe that technically for Dome Kwabenya, we do not have a member of parliament. We do not have a member of parliament because I can tell you on authority, our incumbent is the remotest member of parliament in the entire country. Now, this is a person who is hardly seen in the constituency. You never hear of her, you never hear of any activity or any function that is being held by the member of parliament. Now, there's a member of parliament who was voted 3.5 years ago. Not even a single town hall meeting to sort to find out from the constituent what our challenges are, what is the problem. Now, Herbert, it is rather unfortunate for any member of parliament to come and tell the constituent that my government is not in power, and for that matter, I'm unable to do what I'm supposed to do. Now, why do we make a case for the state to invest close to 500,000 Ghana cedis annually? That is in the duration of the 4 years in a single member of parliament. Now, quite apart from that, we know where the MP's common fund goes into. What do we use it for? Is it enough for you to say that your government is not in power, and for that matter, you're unable to do what you're supposed to do? Now, quite apart from that, we have a member of parliament who has shown a lot of disrespect to the constituent. Now, I know that TV3 is one of the revered media houses in Ghana. You send an invitation to somebody to come and give your stewardship, 4 years stewardship to the people, only for the person to tell you she doesn't want to come down to the level of people like us to come and argue and make a case for it. This is certainly the kind of person we are talking about. I believe that Dome Kwabenya deserves better. We have very important people there who deserve to know who they have to vote for, who they voted for, what have you done for them, what are you going to do for them in the next coming year. Now, this is confidence, this is arrogance, and I believe that it is for the people of Dome Kwabenya to be able to sit down and judge. Is it the same person, is it the same kind of person we want to go into the next 4 years going forward? Certainly not. I believe that we have to look back, we have to get somebody you can be able to come back with a result for you, somebody you can sit down with, somebody who can relate to you, somebody you can always sit down around the table and discuss the issues of the constituency. I believe that this is somebody who has gone round to foment lies and also things that she has not done. Look, the least we expect of a member of parliament, if you cannot construct if you cannot initiate project, is to give credit to the government that has done a lot in your constituency, some of which you go around to take credit for. And I believe that with this, certainly the people of Dome Kwabenya would definitely need to come seek for a change. This goes beyond political lines. It goes beyond NDC and NPP. We need to look at our future and the future of our children. I
am grateful. Nuruddin Mohammed is representing the NDC in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. Now, Abdul Kadri Isa, the incumbent member of parliament, has been on the seat for quite some time. You suggested earlier that there's a need to change her. Why should we change her? What are some of the diagnoses you have made, the reasons why we should take her off the seat and put you there to represent Dome Kwabenya?
First of all, you should know that even our presence here is a reflection of the fact that the incumbent member of parliament shall face and shall fail abysmally, because you can see clearly that she doesn't give respect to the station, an important station like TV3, respected station like TV3. As I'm coming out from this studio, I saw a member of parliament coming from this studio. Is she more than that member of parliament for Damango? Is she more wiser than that member of parliament?
Well, she says she's unable to make it. So let's move on.
No, I'm very apologetic.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. Because I think it's very important for her to understand that. Absence is a reflection of the fact that she's incompetent. One, because you have been given the chance to govern or to be an MP for this constituency for 4 years. And now that is a time. Look at even the time she was inaugurating a campaign at Atomic. And none of estimate can you see that she even make a case about a stewardship. She never even one sentence in regards to a stewardship to Dome Kwabenya. And you are being employed by the people of Dome Kwabenya. You are being paid by the taxpayers. That you should represent them. Come and account. Somebody she doesn't. I wish before this program, people should have done some sort of survey or research at the constituency. Go someplace like Taifa, Burkina, Agoba. So those kinds of the roads are terribly black. One even call, it's very important for us to understand on this platform that it's not the duty of an MP to construct road, but it's very important for him to understand that it's a duty of an MP to ensure that most of the roads are more traveled. Because I drive a lot in the constituency. When I wake up in the morning, I see a young guys. Even they stop me. They stop me. I dish out money. I even encourage. You can see that most of the portal has been patched. These people are not MP. These are citizens or a native of Dome Kwabenya who are one or the other trying to promote the constituency. I'm expecting the member of parliament to come mobilize all these boys together and show that most of these roads are more trouble. But to come out public to tell the people and the constituency black and white that the roads is not a duty. I think that's a very unfortunate statement. If you go to the type of
Kadri, you're suggesting she said to you or the constituent that her duty is not to construct roads.
Fantastic. It's a public record. You can verify.
Okay, go ahead.
You understand? And you need to understand that most of the youth in this constituency, they hardly see her. They only see her only on campaign platform. They hardly see her. And I don't think we should have an MP who should be an MP for a constituency which is second largest constituency in Greater Accra. I think that constituency is bigger than her. You need to understand, when you want to go to the constituency, for instance, from Dome to Taifa, when you can see a frustrated young guys who have, in a way, even finding their
30 more seconds.
Finding their way of trying to get a job to do. What is this MP? What is an action plan? She does not have any action plan for the constituency. The people are crying for a change. And this is high time we have to ensure that we never give this woman a chance to be an MP of Okam, because we continue to give her a chance. The same old trouble will continue to resurface. I'm
grateful. Abdul Kadri Issa, I'll get you the chance to make your submission. Abdul Kadri Issa is representing the PNC in the Dome Kwabenya constituency, and Rudy Mohammed is representing the NDC in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. The incumbent member of parliament could not make it up to the studio. And let's continue. Nuruddin, you wanted, I don't know if you wanted a reaction to what Issa said.
Yes, certainly.
Okay,
just an addition. I think it's instructive to note that all of us here know it is not a duty of the MP to construct roads, but we have a member of parliament who goes around to tell people she actually constructs roads, the government or the assembly construct. When it's good, she takes the credit. When it's not good, then she bounces the faults to government. This is certainly not a person, Now, I can say that she's done something in the constituency, and what she's done is even questionable. Now, in the 4 years, what she can creditably take for herself is the construction of boreholes. Now we are talking about communities within the Greater Accra region, where today access of potable water isn't a problem. Now in 2014, this is somebody who has constructed a single borehole for in excess of 25,000 Ghana cedis, mechanized borehole. Now you and I know on the market, the most you can get at West is 10,000 Ghana cedis. And these are projects that sometimes are executed by one person probably execute about 5 of it. So certainly with your negotiation power, you should be able to get a reduction on some of these things. How come in Greater Accra here, you seek to construct boreholes for people in Dome, in Hachu, when you can easily lay pipelines for the people to be able to? As we speak, in our own backyard, Taifa, they still have problem with access to potable water. Now the problem is that most of the people there do not want it because they use the borehole as business, and so when there's access of water there to the masses, it destroys their business. But I believe that as a member of parliament, to the people who have voted so much for you, you should be able to come out at least. How much is it going to cost? The pipelines are already there. The government has already provided the pipelines, major pipelines. Yours is to connect it to the various homes, and that you cannot do. You have no business be in parliament.
All right, I'm grateful, but let's stay on this major issue, because all of you agree that it is indeed not the job of the MP to be providing certain infrastructure, but you think that in a way you can support. But let's stay in that constituency, particularly the Dome Pillar 2 road. Your constituents have a lot of concerns about that road. Now, Nuruddin, if you get the chance to represent Dome Kwabenya, how do you intend to support the constituency in terms of developing infrastructure, knowing on the background that it is not your mandate and you don't have that capacity by way of funding to undertake infrastructure that require a high capital? How do you intend to do this, and how can you convince the voters that they should give you the mandate and you will push up development in the constituency? In 2 minutes.
Herbert, I believe that politics is about...
This is Bright.
Bright, sorry.
Go ahead.
Politics is about public relations. Public relations is also about how you be able to create and maintain mutually beneficial relationship between various stakeholders. And in this case, we have your constituents, the people of the opposing political party, the people of the party, the government officials, and all that. Once you're able to do this very effectively, then you sure are on a good path of success. Now, I'm a public relations person. I've been in communication for quite so long. A lot of you will know that I've been in journalism for well over 9 years. Now, this is the experience I'm bringing on board. Now, everybody will tell you, and those who know the work of journalism, some of the most important tenets are truthfulness, honesty, and service to the public good. Now, with this, I bring into politics. I believe that once I'm able to transit between from the journalism world into politics with this very tenet, this certainly should be able to guide me. But the most important thing is social mobilization. That is one thing that I believe I can be able to use to be able to bring the people together. Now, I cannot construct roads, I cannot construct hospitals, but your ability to be able to lobby for some of these projects, make a case for it, read the law to the people, let them know that the people pay taxes, they deserve this, and once the funding is the one they pay their taxes, they definitely have to be able to get some of these resources. That is the process of lobbying. Now, quite apart from that, most of the people within my constituents are people who live in their own houses. Sometimes they do not need you to come and solve their problems, but they need you to use your influence to be able to get them to be able to mobilize themselves to get things going. Now, I've had instances where most of the associations, residents associations, call me, and we've been able to do a lot of things as I speak. Most of the bridges within the communities have been constructed. Out of my own initiative, I've been able to make a case for it. I know I do not know so many people in government, but I go there with a case and let them know. The bridge at Musuku is being constructed. The bridge at Ashoman is being constructed. These are things that when it rains, because of the volume of water that collects under the small bridge, it really creates flooding in most of the communities. Now, it means that once you push, once you step out, once you make a case, you certainly can get most of these things for them. Like I said again, look, the people do not need you to come and solve their problems. They've been able to put up their houses. All they need is to come, sit down around the table, judge or look for solutions on how you should be able to support government with the little they have so that they can be able to, look, this is a place where you have a wide number of people, a lot of people. Now, social mobilization is how you be able to collect and bring the ideas of all these people to be able to share and then deliberate.
20 more seconds.
Solutions to them. So certainly, Dome Kwabenya really has the people. We have the people who are willing to serve their own good, who are willing to help themselves. We need a person who will be able to come out to identify some of these challenges, identify the need to be able to bring all the stakeholders together, to sit down around the table and deliberate and support the government in its developmental agenda.
I am grateful. Nuruddin Mohammed of the NDC representing the party there in the constituency. Now, Abdul Kadir Issa, let's talk about you. How do you intend to use this lobbying power to get development, particularly when you know that when you get elected and your government isn't in power, for you to rely on central government? How do you intend to do this? In 2 minutes, you can also deal with it.
It depends on the usual policy that you, the member of the parliament, put in place for the people to accept. For instance, I have a policy called capacity enhancement policy. But when you look at it, I've been in the constituency for a very long time, and I've able to identify what are their problems are. For instance, when you go to Dome, for instance, most of the guys there are mates. You understand? Most of the guys there are mates. If you ask them, my brother, why are you not going to work? The only thing that the person will tell, I don't have a license. And how about the capacity enhancement project, whereby I will team up with all these youth guys, ensure that I also get in touch. Because we need to consider there's a lot of driving license training school. I also go and make my case for them to ensure that they give me driving license for this. But these are some of the boys. Most of the times in the weekend, we usually come together. Most of these camp portals is being patched, but some of these related of no money. You know, so when you have a very good member of parliament, when you put proper policies in place and proper plan, I think some of these guys will come on board. When they will come on board to ensure that you execute some of these camp projects. More importantly, you also need to understand, Dome Kwabenya, most of the big-time contractors are there. Even before Ajah Safwa came on board, before you wake up in the morning, you can see one contractor uses his own machine, excavate the road. What these people don't need is, they don't need Ajah Safwa's money. What they need is recognition. Come and sit down with it. They don't need an MP who is always first in his house. What they need is an MP who can understand what their needs are. Even when you do it on your own free will, you need a recognition. What is what the constituency of Dome Kwabenya need? I think it's very important. Me being a member of parliament, I'm able to study what are the problems are, where to solve the money, how to ensure that most of these rules are more trouble, and I'm going to do it do it easily. Because as of now, I'm doing it at my capacity as member of parliament. I'm going to ensure that I do it when I get the note to become member of parliament of Dome Kwabenya.
I'm grateful. Abdul Kadri Isa has represented the PNC in the constituency. I told you that constituency has 180,000 plus voters. It is the second largest in Ghana and definitely a constituency to watch right here on the Election Command Center. Now, Nuruddin, let's stay with a little more on leadership skills, because one key thing about development is liaising with all stakeholders. Now, when you get the mandate of the people, how do you intend to use that mandate to bring together perhaps the authorities of the district, those who even contested you, as well as traditional authorities and opinion leaders in that constituency, in order to speed up development? Share your ideas with us in 2 minutes too.
One of my brainchilds is a Citizen Engagement Resource Center. This is certainly a center which has no political coloration. This is a center where anybody and everybody within the constituency can come in with their ideas, with their challenges, with their problems, and definitely should be able to get somebody to be able to write down. If you're not able to even get somebody to give you a solution, you get your problems heard. And the appropriate quarters are going to be able to hear it and then see how we can be able to sit down together and find solutions to it. Now, like my brother said, look, you have an equal amount of people within the middle class and those at the downtrodden. You have both urban and rural settings within the community. Those at the top certainly might not need a lot of support or maybe support from the member of parliament. But those down there, sometimes in terms of loans, in terms of, look, today's world, information rules. And one thing I keep telling people is I don't need to come and promise you jobs. I don't need to come and promise you loans. I don't need to come and promise you hospitals and all that. What I want to empower you with is information. With the right information, I believe that you should be able to go out there and get the right kind of resources you need for yourself. And as part of it, Citizen Engagement Resource Center is going to be a center where people should be able to walk in, have access to internet, have access to a resource person who can be able to answer your question. Information is everything in today's world, and I think that is going to be my trump card. I'm going to make information accessible to the people. You have a lot of footballers within the constituency, people who are looking to make a livelihood out of soccer. Now they have people coming from all places with contracts and all that. Sometimes they need people to help them and guide them through what kind of contract they're signing and all that. These are things that some of the little support that people really need. It's not always about the roads, it's not always about the bridges, it's not always, sometimes it's about some of these small things. Now we have Maslock. How are people going to be able to access this? People come and they tell me, look, I've heard of something on Maslock. I don't know how to be able to go and access it. I don't know what we even need. People come and say, I want to go and access it. You give them the information, they realize that maybe they do not have the capacity. Maybe they are not where they are supposed to be to be able to access some of these things. Then you redirect them to other places. Now, one other important thing is also your initiative, your ability to initiate programs and to be able to buy into international charity organizations. As a member of parliament, I believe that others are doing it. There are people out there who are willing to support developing economies like ours. How you be able to position yourself and the passion with which you want to support your people, you should be able to position yourself to be able to benefit from some of these projects, to create libraries, educational facilities, and even financial support to your people. And these are all there. Once you have the right person to reach out for them, you should be able to get some of these programs solved.
I'm grateful. Nuruddin Mohammed is represented the NDC in the constituency. Kadri, let's stay with this issue, talking about all-inclusive government, bringing traditional authorities, bringing stakeholders, bringing residents association, bringing everyone on board. Now, this has sometimes been difficult, and that has impeded development. When given the mandate, how do you intend to achieve this in 2 minutes?
Yes, it's very important. This is what you just said right, and it's one of the factors in drawing us back in Dome Kwabenya. It's very important that if you want a member of parliament who understands the people, who the people who understand him, who have lived in the constituency for a very long time, I think trying to address issues, trying to build this kind of social organization is not going to be a problem. For instance, when it comes to Dome Plateau, for instance, most of the traditional heads, and even beyond that, going to Kwabenya, we'll be meeting them close door, trying to listen to their opinion, making ourselves available to them for them to tell us what they want what they want us to do when we get there not to become a member of parliament. I think it's very important, as I said earlier on. If you want to go to Dome, I've still engaged with most of the social groups up there. When they tell you, the most problem they tell you is their employment. For instance, you look at what is current trend, what is going on, for instance. Just recently, within this week, I think we have two problems. One from the whole, one from the voter. This you have microfinance who dupe a lot of people. I said one from the brown. But this point, they are emerging in an area where there's a marketplaces. As a member of parliament, I'm going to ensure that any microfinance company that comes within my constituency is properly scrutinized. We're properly scrutinized in such a way that so that these women who are vulnerable, these market women who are vulnerable will not be fall on their hands. I'm also going to ensure that I get in touch with the imams and the Zongo community to ensure that what the problems are, to improve upon their local school makaranta, to ensure that most of these things is realized to its maximum level. At the same time, I'm also going to ensure that the area, the problems such as roads, that has been my major problem. The reason why I keep on focusing on the road is that most of the guys there are taxi drivers, and they go in for this kind of work and pay. You understand? When you're going for this work and pay, there's some condition. At times, for instance, when you buy, when the companies buy a car for you for 250,000 Ghana cedis, they end up charging 500,000 Ghana cedis. So the final analysis, when you operate in this year, the cost of operating this car become very high. The final analysis is that they end up losing their car, lose their money, and this company come and take their car, so they end up losing nothing. So what I'm going to do as MP or a member of parliament for Dome Kwabenya to ensure that most of these kind of policies are addressed, such as the road going to be my focal point, because 90% of the road in Dome Kwabenya is very, very bad. I'm going to use the youth, mobilize them, ensure that most of the roads which are not more trouble will find ways and means to address based on our entire
local 20 more seconds for you to wrap up.
Our entire the local contract to ensure that most of this road is constructed. More important, when you go to Dome market, most of the problem that women are facing is access to loans. Access to loans. I think it's very important for us to recognize that the government has put some certain mechanism for us to get to. As my brother Riley said, that there's sort of impediment as to how they get the money. It's a fact. I think as a member of parliament, I also try and find ways and means to create some sort of fund for them to ensure that if the government aspect didn't work, they also fall in the constituency fund for them to run the affairs of their market.
Okay. Yes. All right. Abdul Kadri Isa is representing the PNC in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. That's a constituency, the second largest constituency in the Republic of Ghana, over 180,000 voters, and that is a key one to watch. Let's get ready to wrap up our conversation this morning. Let's go this way. Now, Nuruddin, let me start with you. Now, you earlier had said that that seat is not an NPP seat, and you think that it is a seat that the NDC can't win. But previous elections have shown that the opposition or contending MPs or aspiring MPs have not been able to score very high figures against the incumbent MP. What is it that you think is likely to change in 2016 come November or December?
What is likely to change is that the people of Dome Kwabenya are up and very vigilant this time round. What they've decided to do is to ensure that what happened in the last election that led to the election of our incumbent MP would not happen. There's been so many irregularities. Now we all know Dome Kwabenya was a central point of reference for the election petition which we witnessed in 2013. Now, this is a party that has accused the sitting government of electoral malfeasance and so on and so forth. But this is the very party in Dome Kwabenya where a lot of these things happen. Now, we are aware, it's an open secret, that a lot of people are being buzzed to our community, to our constituencies, to vote in the name of the people, in the name of Dome Kwabenya. This is certainly not fair. People like us go down to the people, walk, spend a lot of resources to campaign, only for somebody to bring people from outside to come and vote. This is certainly not going to happen. Now, this is going to be an issue of security. And as we all talk, as we all speak, security is very important in this year's election. We all have to be able to contribute and make sure things that are likely to foment trouble do not happen. And I believe that every authority, the security services, the Electoral Commission, and even every stakeholder, the Peace Council, need to come in and make sure that this thing never happens, because I'm sure that this is something that is going to be a catalyst for some sort of this security issue within the constituency. Now, quite apart from that, I just wanted to rebut a little bit to what my brother said. He said 90% of the roads in Dome Kwabenya are not good. That is certainly inaccurate. Now, today, if you go to Pillar 2, the place has seen very poor roads in the last few years, but today, the roads are being tarred. You go to Konka, you go to Domi, you go to Ashoman. As I speak, I have documents here, contracts that have been signed in March this year. The contractors are just mobilizing to go on site. There's a lot of things that is happening in Dome Kwabenya today. As I speak, Dome Kwabenya doesn't give so much to the NDC government, but I believe that the NDC government believes in giving and sharing the cake equally to everybody. And today we have the Day Senior High School, which is coming up, almost 80% complete. We have a 100-bed ultramodern hospital facility coming up. These are just a few of the development, and I believe that the people of Dome Kwabenya need to sit up, look beyond political lines, and see the good work of the president, John Dramani Mahama, and let's just give him the credit to continue the very good work he started.
All right, I'm grateful, Nuruddin Mohammed of the NDC, and you suggesting that development should change the voting pattern in 2016. Abdul Sakadri, for the PNC, you have not been on the seat before, but you're insisting that there should be a change. Now, what do you think is likely to bring that change?
What is likely to bring that change is what has actually transferred here today. Because it's very important for you to understand that you invited the incumbent, she was able to come to account for it. So it's a reflection of the fact that she has failed. You understand? If you are being given 4 years mandate to come and be a member of parliament for a constituency, and you are being asked, just come and sit down with the young guys to assess what is actually going on. You feel, if this common platform, you feel to turn up. As I'm sitting, I have a document here with me. Borehole. Just come and respond to this borehole 2025. How can you tell the whole constituency like me, a businessman? I'm also into this borehole business. That one borehole is 25,000 Ghana. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to make sure that I follow this case to its latter conclusion. I'll not allow this case to rest. It's very important for us also to understand that Dome Kwabenya, I live in Dome Kwabenya because I continue to live because I have a lot of assets there, because I've been creating jobs, because I pay salaries, I pay the youth, they know what I'm capable of doing. I'm going to be like a management consultant to most of the youth there. When they're having problems with their job, they write to me at home and say, oh, this is my time, what am I going to do? I give them strategic planning for them how they should go about their business. And I think with this type of strategies this time, the people have recognized there's need for them to bring me on board, because I've been with them, I'm a grassroots boy, I'm a ghetto boy, and they understand my feelings, they know what I'm capable of doing, and they see me part of them, that I can ensure that they realize their potential. I think it's very important for me to understand. My quick comment.
Okay, quick one and wrap up for me.
Respect to what my brother has said, I think he has made a very fantastic comment. As regards to the road, I think what he said was, contract is being awarded.
All right.
I think it's better.
Awarded.
It's awarded, but it's not been.
Okay. The Pillar 2 road is being done, right? Okay. The Pillar 2 road is being asphalted.
All right. This is Election Command Center, where the specialists are. This is where we give you the opportunity to make your choices. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Nuruddin Mohammed is representing the National Democratic Congress in the Dome Kwabenya constituency and asking for the mandate of the people of that constituency, over 180,000 voters. And so that's a key constituency to watch. Abdul Kadri Isa is representing the People's National Convention in the constituency, asking also for the mandate of the people to represent them in Parliament. Gentlemen, once again, I'm grateful for your time this morning. We told you earlier that the incumbent member of Parliament was invited and she could not make it. I'm grateful for you out there who watched us, and we are sure to get you more after this. We're